Welcome everyone, whether it's welcome to for the first time or welcome back. You've reached the Horror Hive. We are getting closer and closer to the release of Scream 6. That anticipation is building high. That anxiety has more than already kicked in. Those sleepless nights. All the fan theories pulling you left, pulling you right, pulling you forward, pulling you back. We almost there, everybody. We almost there. But I think I got everyone's attention with my wild and out there fan theories. And hey, that's what it was meant to do, to get your attention. I wanted to make some sense and I wanted to stretch your mind so that you can start to stimulate your own theories. And today, I'm getting into, not going to say so much as a theory. I'm going to say this is more of a dissection, because I'm trying to figure out some things. Now, I'm going to bring it back down to reality, and I'm going to calm it down a little bit when it comes to this video. We're going to stick to the characters that we know are in the movie, and we're going to try to figure out which directions, is the movie going to go into, just in general. Not specifically pointing out who is Ghostface, but what we gonna be dealing with this go around Scream 6. So first things first, let's take a look at our characters. Now we gotta look at the character relations or the character relationships, because we're entering another Scream movie where there are two different casts that are joining together. We got Scream 4, which is Gail and Kirby and Sydney. Gail and Kirby for the movie. And that is the closest that we get to our originals in the Scream franchise. Now we have, of course, Samantha and Tara, and we have Mindy and Chad, who are joining us from Scream 5. From what we can all think is obvious right from the break is that Kirby does not know Tara, Samantha, Mindy, and Chad. I mean, they possibly could know each other. I mean, they all grew up in Woodsboro, but I don't think that they're going to tie in together as knowing each other. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're a 10-year generation apart. So I'm not thinking that Kirby knows the cast, which Kirby being from Scream 4, knows the cast of Scream 5, even though they all lived in Woodsboro and went to Woodsboro High. Tara, Samantha, Chad, and Mindy, they might know of Kirby and, of course now know that Kirby survived, but I don't think that they all personally knew each other. Now, Gail, on the other hand, has met the cast of every movie. So Gail, of course, was in Scream 4 alongside Kirby. They got to know each other, and Gail was also in Scream 5. I wouldn't say she so much of got to know them, but she knows the cast of Scream 5. Their stories still, though, I don't think they come together, as you can tell at the end of Scream 5, which is, from my opinion, that Sydney and Gail's story was totally separate from the rest of everybody. Samantha, Tara, and everybody else that follows. So in the world of Hollywood, it's just all so coincidental that everyone ended up in New York City. Now we gotta try to piece together how and why everybody's going to New York. So of course we know that the teenagers are going to college. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Gail is there promoting a book or something else that she's come up with. She's in big city, of course, and she probably knows that the teenagers are there, and they probably gonna have some type of intertwine together. So that takes care of Scream 5's cast, and it takes care of Gale. And when it comes to Kirby rejoining us from Scream 4, seems like she survived, of course, in Woodsboro, and she grew up to be an FBI officer, or an FBI agent rather. And from what we can tell, they're in New York and Kirby is FBI. It seems like Kirby is FBI in New York. So, you know, it's just like I said, Hollywood coincidental that everyone ends up in New York together. Now, just because everyone is there together, this is where it kind of like my mind starts to go a whole bunch of separate ways, and it gets to the thumbnail of the video saying they are not connected, because these Ghostface killings, like, these are two separate groups of like people. You got, once again, it's like, I'm just gonna say the Scream 4 cast with Sydney Scream 4 cast with Gale and with Kirby, and then you gonna say your Scream 5 cast with everybody else, Chad, Mindy, Samantha, and Tara. So I feel like, you know, even though all the rest of the Screams and it seems like everything is going down by the trilogy or whatnot, I'm starting to feel like this Ghostface, we always know that it's more than one killer, but I feel like it's either gonna be they're working together but they have separate agendas and it brought them together, or these are just two separate Ghostfaces that once again also coincidentally ended up in New York, and that's why we get this gruesome, like, it seems like if we like this movie or not, it seems like I think we all can agree from the trailers that this is going to be the most gruesome, brutal Ghostface we've ever seen, period. Scream 5 turned the table when it came to the visuals, and I think like Scream 6 is going to blow it up. I think they're going to really give us a slasher, whether we like the story or not. But once again, it still makes me so curious, as if these Ghostfaces are either going to be on the same agenda, working together, different agendas, but working together, or just all different agendas in general. And it's just like two Ghostfaces. One Ghostface is going for this, one Ghostface is going for that, and then somehow they come together and figure out that one is the other. And at the end of the day, I feel like I have a strong belief that no matter what, a Ghostface gets away this movie. A Ghostface gets away this movie. I've already kind of heard that 7 is kind of got the green light already, and I kind of got the word on what's going to set it up, how it's going to set it up, and who it's going to be about. Keep hinting to y'all something, but I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm just going to say Yeezy told me. Yeezy told me. But I don't think I want to take this video too much further than that. I don't want to make it all spoilery and whatnot. We do know that this takes place on Halloween Day, or we do know it takes place on Halloween Day. I don't know if it's the day before Halloween and Halloween Day, or Halloween Day and the day after Halloween, but we know that the entire movie takes place in like 2 days. So they really probably wouldn't have to go far into stories with everything. It can just be like what Ortega came out and said, that it's gonna be so much action in this movie that we're gonna be distracted. So it's like, you know, I feel like this jump, they're not gonna have to go too far with stories, enough to give us an explanation or whatnot. But I feel like we coming back around to what Scream is. I do not feel like this is going to be about Stab. I think they got enough fan reaction to know that they put together a good movie, but the plot was just whack. Like, obsessed Stab fans, like, come on now. So I think we coming back to our true story. I think we going to touch back on Samantha. I think we going to really get back into like what Gale and Kirby got was going on though. And I think that's going to all come back into play to make this all about Sydney all over again. Because, I mean, of course, she's our final girl. That's just what it is. Y'all can argue about this franchise can go without her, this, that, and the other. Everybody that went back and forth with me. I'm sorry, yo. You can't go any further. I've broke this down in one of my other videos. Ghostface was just created for her. If you go away from Ghostface, going after Sydney or everything being around Sydney, all you have is a terrorist attacker now. He's not Ghostface is not one individual to be like a Michael Myers or like a Jason Voorhees. So it's like, it's different people every time. So now if you're gonna be putting different people behind the mask for really no reasons related to anything but mass killings, mass terrorist attacks, then man, I don't really think that's Scream anymore. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all feel different, but like I always say, you don't have to call it Scream. You can do a spin-off to it and it just be something closely related to Scream. But when it comes to Scream and the real Ghostface, yo, it's that's Sydney, that's Gail, that's Dewey. Now Dewey gone, like, so now we got a whole new story, or sort of, kind of. But I think that they got that, and I think it's gonna come back around. I could be wrong. I'm just one man. This is just one opinion. But like I said, I'm not gonna really get into theories. I just wanted to get into what I thought the road that we were going to be traveling down when we're going to view Scream 6. I think it's gonna be like two separate storylines that might tie into one. They might die off separately. But we just gonna have to wait and see. But what do y'all think? Not to theorize about everything, but how y'all think this is going to just play out? Like how Scream 6 going to play out? What are we walking into? Not Ghostface, but what is the plot? Like, of course, Ghostface is at the end of the plot, but you know, what are we walking into? Y'all know what I mean. But like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until the next one, I'm out.